Report story. Ochako, leaning down zero-gravity and unconscious Momo and Mina, looked on down the hallway ruins at the standoff, squinting through her waving hair. Izuku was currently floating, an enormous amount of pink energy surrounding him, bouncing and reflecting of the wall remains, a slight wind pressure emanating from him. Gas lighter, now enhanced by the drugs, stood at the other end, a vortex of gasoline surrounding him, and even greater wind pressure surrounding him. Both pressures forced their way through the hallways, cracking the walls and shaking the ground. Ochako stood amazed at the power of the titans in front of her. However, while Gas Lighter seemed to be putting all his energy into releasing that kind of power, Izuku stood almost emotionless, exerting that kind of force with ease, familiarity. Young Ochako, Izuku will be fine. Nana will take care of this. We have to move, now, All Might said, struggling to his feet. Aizawa also stood with the last of his energy, brushing his hair out of his face. Eri, Aizawa called through the wind. The little girl, struggling not to get blown away, forced her way out the room and into Aizawa's arms. We can escape through the holes in the walls. Grab your bodies and move. All Might grabbed Mineta from the stairs. Aizawa carried Eri out, Ochako carrying Mina and Momo. Ochako looked down the hall to see Aoyama, severely injured but awake, limping out the hallway from a hole. Ochako jumped out her own hole in the wall, noticing Shoto in the grass. I'll hold on to him. Just use your quirk, Momo said weakly, surprisingly awake, but barely. Ochako made her way to Shoto, using her quirk, allowing Momo to take grasp of Shoto's ripped and dirty sleeves. Ochako took one last look at the building, overflowing with dark winds and pink energy lightning. Get him, and you'd better come back to me, Ochako whispered, turning and running towards the school. The sun was just barely starting to rise at this point. A faint orange light appeared east, the black sky turning a deep shade of navy, only a few stars still visible. Though no amount of light could overshadow the raging pink and orange lights from the remains of the Class 1A dorm. Lighter and Nana Shimura, still in Izuku's body, stared each other down. Lighter's eyebrow twitched. In an instant, multiple streams of gasoline, exploding as they flew through the air, were aimed right at Nana. Nana leaned forward just a bit before blitzing through the hallways at incredible speed, the gasoline and explosions dissipating from the sheer force of movement. Nana flew, weaving and dodging with ease, using float to stay in the air, using air pressure from One for All to control her movements, breezing through the attacks. Gaslighter barely noticed the incoming bullet of pink before using the pressure of the vortex to raise himself in the air. Lighter exploded through the second floor and the roof of the building remains, surrounded by a gasoline still circling him at a high velocity, raising him higher in the air. Midoriya was different. This wasn't the same kid he fought a month ago. Suddenly, a small bullet of energy burst through the roof, aimed right for Lighter. Lighter filled the air with multiple spheres of gasoline, all connected by a single thread. Nana furrowed her eyes a bit. So he did still have some tricks up his sleeve. Lighter lit the thread, a flame now following down it, hitting each condensed gasoline sphere, causing multiple explosions in the air. Nana, before the mid-air explosions reached her, moved her arm ready to punch. She sucked in just a bit of air before punching the air. A shockwave of pressurized air shot from her fist, blasting the explosions into nothing. Stay away from me. Gaslighter yelled from the air. He waved his arm. A wave of midair gasoline rushed towards Nana. Nana stopped her midair advances, witnessing the wave of gasoline create a sphere around her, trapping her inside. Nana took a deep breath, seemingly annoyed. Lighter clicked his fingers. The ball of gasoline started to condense on itself, with Nana inside. The ball lit, causing a massive explosion. Promoted stories. You'll also like Dream On B. K. Downwards arrow tip rightwards, in which a jealous bachelor signs a deal with the devil in order to win over the heart of his first love. Katsuki Bakugo has loved the PR. Cruelty. X 1.2M 40.3K. A very hostile girl whom despised everyone and everyone despised her. Izuku Midoriya, a very sweet boy who was popular with his classmates, oddly developed. Shining Light 42.7K 928 Quickless. Normal. No heroes are quirks, so Izuku Midoriya and Ochako Uraraka have been best friends since kindergarten. But when problems in high school try to drift them, the paths he chooses. Book 1. A Fate of Few. S. A normal day for Izuku as he completes his normal routine and goes to school. Along the way he runs into Yui Kodai, a quiet and mysterious girl of Class 1B, they. The Life of 0. 17.2K 486 Izuku. Midoriya wanted to be a hero his whole life and was bullied for it since he was quirkless. Izuku Midoriya was told that he would never get a quirk by his doctor. Dreamscape 362K 10.2KYN has been trapped for most of her life, used as a tool for others' gain. Her quirk was fabricated to be used as the perfect weapon, a weapon to help in stealing other. The quirkless lion unseen power. S1N. Kurayami has always lived in the shadows, pretending to be quirkless in a world that reveres power. Her secret isn't weakness, it's Mindwev, a terrifying ability. Yes, my victory, Midoriya, Lighter yelled, still floating in the air. However, he had cheered just a bit too soon. With another gust of air, the circular explosion was forced back, destroying the ball, the explosions dissipating, revealing a unharmed Nana Shimura. With two hands extended on each side. He using pressure of both his arms at the same time to force the gasoline away. What is up with this damn kid? How cursed is he? Lighter thought, preparing another attack. Nana stared at the vein-popping figure in front of her. She sighed, and instantly moved. In less than a fraction of a second, Nana was nose to Lighter. The pink lighting surrounding her intensified. She raised her leg, kicking Lighter far back to the ground. Lighter landed in a nearby street, creating a huge crater from the force of impact. Lighter, only barely okay due to the quirk enhancement drug, pushed himself up to his feet and looked back up at the speck of pink energy still floating in the sky. His eyes, now gray, with a hint of pink behind them, stared ferociously down at him. Midoriya's gaze alone made Lighter take a step back. Suddenly a purple portal opened up behind Lighter to reveal Dobby, walking out of it. Oi, you seem to be having a tough time. Oh, would you look at that? Dobby said, his lifeless eyes staring into the pink star hovering above them. You're not gonna help me with this, are you? Lighter asked, fully expecting Dobby to walk away. However, Dobby remained. Unfortunately, with how that kid is now, he's one of the few that could ruin our plans. As much as I don't feel like it. Blue flames started encasing Dobby's body. I'll have to step in here. Oi, how long do you plan to stay up there? Nana responded by shooting back down to the ground at intense velocity, the wind pressure following behind her. Dobby raised his hands and shot his blue flames directly at Nana, who avoided with ease. Nana landed between the two villains with massive force, a punch aimed towards Dobby, a kick aimed towards Gaslighter, knocking the two away in separate directions. Nana looked back and forth between Dobby and Gaslighter, both seemingly in slow motion due to her speed, choosing the most dangerous of the two, Furry rushing towards Dobby, the pink energy growing even more intense as she flew after the already flying back burned figure. Dobby, however, looked down at Nana, who was chasing him down, with an evil smile. Nana flew up to Dobby's body, ready to go for another punch, however Dobby was ready. His whole body lit up in flames, forcing Nana back just a few feet. Suddenly another wave of gas encased Nana straight on this time, drowning her in gasoline. Dobby shot an immeasurable amount of blue flames at the full wave of gasoline, igniting the wave. The force of the explosion blew the rest of the dorms away, shattering the glass of surrounding buildings, smoke being forced in different directions. However, a faint light of pink, surrounded by smoke, shot out of the explosion zone and back up into the air. The smoke cleared, revealing itself to be the now familiar pink energy of Nana. Nana, still calm, was now breathing a bit heavy. They were making her exert energy just slightly. Dobby and Lighter flew up at Nana, who weaved around the two's combined flames, gasoline and combined explosions in the air. Nana started flying away to put distance between the three, however Dobby and Lighter chased right after. Nana took a deep breath and sighed. She didn't want to hurt them too badly, but this was getting out of hand. It was time to end this. Nana, at the speed of light, suddenly turned around, without any warning, punching the air. The two shockwaves were enough to send both the villains back. She shot towards the two, extending her arms. Out of each arm came the black substance from before, Black Whip. Each whip latched onto its victims. Nana shot down towards the ground, dragging the two through the air after her, still stuck by Black Whip, aiming right for the ground. Nana stopped just before reaching the ground, slamming the two villains directly into the concrete. Just as they had attempted to get up, Nana reacted in an instant, kicking Dobby a distance away into a building, and slamming Lighter back into the ground with a punch. Lighter was out cold. A helicopter flew over, the sky now reaching a bright orange morning light. Nana looked up and noticed the cameras on her. She smiled, and lifted her fist up in the air, signaling victory. She allowed the camera to focus on her before charging one for all back up once again. She didn't have much time left. She could feel her consciousness slipping. Time to clean up this mess. Nana charged one for all. She felt the quirk jump from holder to holder before reaching her. One for all now fully activated, Izuku's eyes now glowing a full pink. Nana ran down the streets and jumped through cities. Nana reviewed the multiple petty villains, the leftover clones and the fires left over. She took a deep breath and began. She first ran through all the city streets, knocking out any villain she saw being offensive. Iida, who was still battling the three villains, noticed the pink energy weave past him. All the villains attacking him suddenly came crashing down, unconscious. Iida, still in a fighting stance, looked confused as his eyes tried to follow the pink energy. Midoriya, Iida called out, watching the pink energy bounce around. Nana reviewed the still flaming buildings, pulling back her arm and releasing a punch, sending a wind pressure just strong enough to put the building's flames out. She nodded, and flew off. Time to get to the next sector. Bakugo and Kirishima were facing off between two more clones. Die! Bakugo yelled, racing towards a Dabi clone, before Shimura beat him to in with immense speed, punching straight through the clone. What the fuck? But Bakugo didn't get to finish. Nana was already on the lighter clone, now kicking his head off, causing him to turn to twice scoop. Midoriya, thanks man. Kirishima said, that was my kill. Bakugo yelled as Nana flew away. Nana swept the cities clean of gangs, fires and clones before the streets were flameless and all the villains beaten. Time to lock up Dabi and lighter she though. Nana raced back to the two bodies she had left behind. Gas lighter was there, however an unconscious Dabi was being pulled through a purple portal. Nana raced towards the portal, planning to go through and grab all the inhabitants on the other side, however she felt an awful pain surge through her head. Her time was up. She reached the portal and quickly reached her hand through before it closed, pulling out not Dabi, but Kurogiri. What the? Kurogiri called, but Nana instantly knocked him out. No time to question. She took Kurogiri's body, rushed with full pink energy towards Lighter's body, and raced towards the Class 3A where Aizawa, All Might and the other students were. Nana burst through the doors. Not much time. Take them, lock them up, don't let them escape. This one here has most of the answers you may need. Nana told Aizawa. Aizawa looked down at the bodies, confused on how Izuku Midoriya managed to pull this off. Nonetheless, he grabbed the bodies and handcuffed them. Nana quickly walked over to All Might, floating a bit and placed a hand on his head. You've grown into a fine hero. Thank you. Keep watch over this new one for me, will you? Nana said in Izuku's body with a smile. Her eyes were flickering between green and gray. Yes, Sensei, All Might said simply, knowing her time was short. He looked down, trying his hardest not to cry. Nana stopped floating and looked over at Ochako, who was staring, not knowing who she was talking to. Nana walked up to her and placed a hand on her head. Keep watching over Izuku Midoriya, would you? I don't think he can get far without his loved one. Ochako stayed silent before nodding vigorously. Nana smiled and took one long breath before the pink energy dissipated. Izuku's eyes turned from gray to green. Izuku's eyes closed as he collapsed, Ochako catching his fall. Ochako smiled. Welcome back, Izuku. Where stories live. Discover now.